Yeah, I mean, really proud of our team tonight. I don't know how many teams in the country can give up 8 or 9 runs with 2 outs and still come back and win, but I know of at least one. And just to be able to survive, that early, it had all the makings of a huge slugfest, and we had some guys that really swung the bats well. Colin Priest with 4 RBIs, Pano and JJ and Chufo and Listy, all I thought had really good nights. But the storyline was kind of the second half of the game once Reed Garris and Lucas Malstead went in the game and put zeros up. And, to hold a really good offense, you saw what their offense can do, especially, it didn't matter if it was 2 outs and to get a rally started. I mean, they're a very dangerous offense. So, it just goes to show you how good Aiden Knock was yesterday, and then how good Reed Garris and Lucas Malstead were today. But I thought those two in particular were the difference, and then our offense just did an incredible job of competing. We obviously didn't help ourselves, making 3 errors, and I think 4 of their runs scored immediately after errors, so that got to take care of that. And our defense has been great all year, so I guess you're going to have a fluky game like that, but we'll certainly want to play better from a pitching and defensive standpoint. Play more like we did the last 5 innings from a pitching and defensive standpoint, but very proud of our offense just to trade punches with another team and be able to be 1 run better, and that's really what it came down to. We were just 1 run better tonight, but that was a very good college baseball game, traditional slugfest, just looking at the score, and we'll have our work cut out for us tomorrow because it's a dangerous club, as we found out tonight.
Coach, what does it do for your ball club with Jacob now, kind of just seeing the ball the way he is, and 4 straight games now with a home run, or 3 straight games, I should say?
Yeah, he did that in the fall too. He he hit a bunch of home runs in the fall, and he certainly is a threat to hit it out. He's so strong. He's such a hard worker. He's just an incredible ball player. But yeah, when I feel like we've seen some hot streaks from Listy and Purify and Canarella. We know what he can do, but we it seems like 4 through 9, maybe there's guys that haven't hit their stride, and so as these guys, Pano's seeing the ball real well right now, JJ as well. It feels like our offense has been good, really good, but it just feels like you get some of these guys get hot and we could be really dangerous.
I think it's your 8th straight win tonight. When you're winning like that, does it help you get through those moments in the game, those ebbs and flows when things aren't going right? They scored, I think it was 8 of their first or 7 of their first 9 runs with 2 outs, like you said, all coming with after errors by your defense. Does it help you get past those tough times in the game?
Yeah, I mean, we've had enough adversity. Like it's just all how you frame stress, and we frame stress as good. Like, we want the adversity. We're not afraid from it. We're going to run right towards it. We know we can take a punch. We know we're not gonna, we're just not gonna get down. We know we're gonna come back, and but yeah, we were tested tonight quite a bit because it wasn't just one, giving up one crooked number. I mean, they had 3 crooked numbers, and it was all in a row, and so you just kind of felt that, just like a boxing match, they're just landing a bunch of punches, but so were we, and so it was. Great response. They put up a 5 spot. We put up a 5 spot. And then just to get some of the solo homers later on to prove to be the difference. Maybe the biggest play of the game was the anti-squeeze play where we fake break to third, and they bunted first and third, and didn't score on it because of what Josh Pano did in that situation. That would never show up on a stat sheet, but that was what we call an HWA play, a how to win awareness play. And that was huge because that was the tying run.
There's a stat I saw the other day. It says that you guys have led in one inning in any game. At the end of that inning with the lead, you guys have won every single game. You ever had a crazy stat like that in your time? I know, but you've coached a lot, played a lot. You ever had a crazy stat like that? Ever heard one?
No, I've never heard that, but yeah, hope we have a lot of good crazy stats like that when it's all said and done. But it just comes down to how we play, and whatever the stats are at the end of the year and the rankings and all that stuff is what it is. But how we play is most important, and we did not play championship level pitching and defense the first 4 innings, but we played championship level pitching and defense the last 5, and this steady offense, the factor, all the combined factors is why we won tonight. But we had to survive some pretty big punches there early in the game, and so however the stats ended up, I'm just glad we were 1 run better. That was the ultimate stat we needed to have tonight, and we got it.
Seems like a year ago now, but second inning, you're down 5-3. Pano hits a leadoff double, and Chuvo bunt single gives you corners with no outs. What went into that decision and the confidence in Andrew to lay down a good bunt there?
Yeah, I mean, we don't sacrifice bunt, or at least that's not our mentality. We call it a kill bunt, where you're just trying to deaden the ball inside 30 feet and make it a high pressure play. And so we prefer, ultimately, our top result would be they get rushed and throw it away, and now we have second and third with no outs. The next best outcome would be we have a bunt base hit, and so whether we're bunting with a runner on first or runner on second, in that situation, I guess runner on second, he would score if they threw it away, but we want to bunt for a base hit. And Chufo's good at that. He's good at the drag bunt. We have a few guys that are good at the drag bunt, being able to deaden the ball, and so it becomes a chaos play, a high pressure play, and it was one of those. He was just safe, bang bang, and he's got some speed, and he's good at bunting, and so it just seemed like an easy call at that time, because we were, I think, trailing by 2 runs at that point. And so just to at least make sure we cut that deficit into 1. But fortunately for us, it turned into a big inning, which was huge.
You guys are now 16-1 in games that are decided by 3 runs or less. What is it that allows this team to come out on top in so many of those close games?
I think it you fall back on your training, right? Like we don't rise to any occasions. We just play at the level of our training, but at the level of our training is often, higher or as high as some of these intense moments in the games. I mean, it's literally what we train for. We try to train at above the speed and the level of the competition. And so when these moments arrive, and they arise, I guess they show up in the game, we're ready for it. And so we're comfortable in these what would be uncomfortable moments for other people. It's just part of a mindset and a mentality, and it's just drilled into everybody from meeting day one. And then we have to get outside of our comfort zone with our physical training as well, to go with the mental training to prepare us for these moments. And then we've been in enough of them, like you said, 17 times this year we've been in games with 3 runs or less. We've been in them enough to where you get, you start to callous your mind a little bit. It's like no big deal, 1-run game, so what? We've been in so many of these. We know what we need to do in order to come out on top. But saying it's one thing, getting out there and actually doing it, that's why players deserve all the credit there.
Every game's big, obviously, but is it extra satisfying to clinch this series, and you're now 5-0 in your ACC series this season?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. They're all weighted equally, so there's not one game in the 30 ACC games that count more than the others. And we were fortunate to win the division last year and fortunate to win the tournament the year before that. But, obviously one of our goals is every ACC team, every conference, everyone, any sport, you want to win the league. And not just, win. I don't even think there are divisions anymore, right, Hen?
Correct.
We just want to win it outright. So knowing the importance of each one and how tight these games are, and the margin is always small, and a lot of these teams are postseason teams, and so it's like playing regionals and super regionals every weekend with these teams, where especially there, it comes down to pitching, defense, timely hitting, and the margin of the game and the outcome of the game is decided by one swing, one play, one pitch. And and that was you could trace today's game back to how close it was from going either direction. But we'll take every one of them we can get, and we knew it was going to be an expensive win just by using Reed Garris in the 4th inning and Malstad in the 7th, and burning those guys today. But we felt like it was worth it with the chance to win the game and take the series.
I guess it's safe to assume Baylor's going to make his first home start tomorrow.
BJ?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he'll be out there. Yep, he's been great. He's thrived in the roles that we've put him in, and he's got the perfect mindset. And I've mentioned this before, but anyone who loses a year to injury and doesn't really know how they're going to come back, if they're going to come back, it's like they're playing with house money. They have that unique life perspective where they lost the opportunity to compete, and they just cherish every second of it when they're back out there. And I think he's very much in that hyper competitive / gratitude zone, because he wants to make the most of his opportunity, and he certainly is. So whatever happens tomorrow, he's earned it, and he's pitched very well for us. So look for him to have a quality start again tomorrow.
Anything else for Coach?
All right,
Thank you.